Hey, I'm Feedback Gaming, and this is a new Imperator Rome update. Marius. I didn't play the previous major update to Imperator Rome. I'm coming in with a double whammy of two major updates in one go. I'm going to test them out and let you know how I feel. First of all, title screen here, absolutely jaw-dropping. I can see why this wasn't just a loading screen, it made it to the title screen. This is absolutely amazing. This definitely makes you come into the game with a new feeling, and also they've slightly changed the UI here. So we've got this white with red and black banners now. Initially it looks pretty good. A lot of the settings pop out, what you can click on and whatnot, so it looks pretty good. I'm going to go into single player and a new game. This is a classic loading screen. This was in the original game. And here we are into the main game. So once again, got that blue, white, and red thing going on. Red banners, blue icons, white backdrop for the UI. Looks pretty good. It kind of pops out. These icons feel like they're kind of floating, though. These are the main nations, I guess, suggested nations to play. We'll go with Rome, of course. And same settings as what we've had before. For the Republic. So prior to loading the game up now, I've had a little bit of a play around. Getting used to the new UI, getting used to some of the new mechanics, and I thought I'd just go through each of them one by one to let you guys know how I feel about them. I'll say, first of all, the new UI is a little bit confusing for me. So we think back to the original Imperator Rome UI, a lot of people had problems with it. People said it was too big, it was too mobile gamey. Every icon was very rich in color, really stood out, really glued into your memory, so you can really remember where things were. If you look on the right hand side here, these icons seem to all blend together. They don't really have that pop, that rememberability that they had on release. I also find that a lot of the buttons are difficult to know which ones you can click on and which ones you can't. So for instance, I can click on that one. The ones that are blue are obviously ones I can click on. The ones that are grayed out are the ones I'm already selected, but that's the same color as the backdrop. That's a little bit confusing. This is a new system they added with the last patch, where you could have decisions giving more rights to minorities. Bit of a strange mechanic though, because the more minorities that you accept, the more that it upsets your primary culture. Interesting take on anti-multiculturalism. And you'd find yourself giving them rights in situations that were just about to rebel to quell a specific ethnic group. And eventually you'd strip away all their rights to eventually assimilate them into your primary culture, in this case Roman. I like the look of the trade screen now. There was a lack of options and you get spammed with options at the top, so now you can just accept all trades, block specific surpluses so you get the bonuses you need and hold on to them. You can also click on the eye icon to send you to the location of where you're trading with. That's really cool. They've also added a breakdown now, so traditions now are little mini tech trees, and so are inventions as well. This has a little bit of a Hoi 4 national focus tree feel to it. If you want to, you can add planning to see which path you want to go down. I can't decide if the UI is bad or if it's just different. I got used to those really colorful circles at the top of the screen, and now I'm left with these bland white icons. They look good, they represent the game well. The problem is that I've just got my memories glued into those specific icons. I suppose it feels different too when you go into here and you're seeing the old art, this mixture between the old and the new. I feel really torn. We also have wonders now as well, so there is a wonder right here in Rome. Great wonder, the Temple of Jupiter, and it gives this bonus of 20% extra omen power, and over time you can level it up, put money into it, and gain a bigger bonus overall. I feel really underwhelmed by these wonder mechanics. You just stuff money into something, and it grows bigger and bigger, and it gives you a bigger bonus. It works the same way in EU4 with the trade center upgrades, just stuffing money into something to gain a bigger reward in the long run. It'd be kind of cool if there were more event chains are based around these wonders. It feels just a little bit one-dimensional. Put money into X, and then X will give you big bonus. Probably the feature that excited me the most was the introduction of levies. So under military, under levies, you've got the ability to now raise the levies. But every governor has a levy army. So you can see this guy, the governor of Italia, has supplies, 8 heavy infantry, 17 light infantry, 5 light cavalry. And when you raise these levies, pops are subtracted from the areas, so they're not working in these areas. So it's something you kind of do in desperation. Reminds me of a combination of levies in CK2, CK3. Also reminds me a little bit of Victoria 2, the way it hinders your production if you choose to raise them. Now, what I don't like is it works like Crusader Kings 2. When I hit raise the levies, they just instantly spawn in their governor regions. This was a system in CK2 that they abandoned in CK3. One of the main reasons for it is it just was a nuisance to have to draw a big box, select all the armies, and then gather them up. And on the way, they would get knocked out by the AI one by one, and then you only have a few left over as you gather them in a certain area. It's interesting how they've chose this system. From my experience, it's old-fashioned. It's CK2, it's Victoria, over the more modern system of Crusader Kings 3, which takes time to gather them up over a rally point. If I switch out to one of the bigger nations, so new game, and we'll play as the Seleucids Empire, and then we'll raise the levies once again. As you can see, the list now of governors is absolutely massive. And then you raise all levies, and oh my goodness. I get it in a way. You kind of want to use your standing army to win wars, and you only really want to do this in an emergency because it's going to hurt your economy. I can't help but feel a little bit underwhelmed that they chose to go back to an old system where I have to gather them all up and place them here. Not so bad with the Seleucids, because they've got an interconnected empire from east to west. Can imagine though if you are spread out over the Mediterranean with lots of islands and whatnot and have to gather them up over transport ships. Oh, that's going to be a right nightmare. It's left me with a bit of mixed feelings. I feel like the new features they've added in the last 2 major patches, they're once again extra buttons, more convenience tools, but they once again don't really enhance the base game experience. I feel like I'm constantly playing this tug of war between the old game that I once played, that for the most part I enjoyed, and then these new add-on features that don't revolutionize the game, they just add on these extra extensions, plugins, in this case DLC. This isn't a major change from the last 2 major expansions, but they did add missions. I like that you have a direction to send your nation, but I just don't like that a lot of the missions are you just press a button to get a fixed reward. It's just extremely linear. And the missions themselves, I understand these are meant to represent gods of certain religions. That's cool and everything, but they're not very visual. I've never been a big fan of the Hearts of Iron 4 national focus system. Wait 70 days, have a specific tooltip, and then get a fixed reward at the end of it. With some of the newer expansions having slightly more dynamic rewards, spawning events, having build-ups and payoffs. With this, you don't have to wait a set time. You just have to meet the requirements, press a button, and given this free gift of reward. It doesn't really feel like a mission. It just feels like this weird piggy bank that you press buttons in randomly. And if anyone's wondering, yeah, I have the same gripes with the EU4 mission system. But I will say some of the rewards you get are absolutely jaw-dropping. Giving full-blown restore the Union casters' bellies is absolutely amazing. Where a bunch of these rewards like +10 to omen power, +2 to noble happiness, spend 300 gold and gain +5% local population happiness. This is so underwhelming. Don't get me wrong, I like that you can send your nation in a historical path instead of the game just becoming this free sandbox environment. Just feel like this system could be better. I would honestly prefer less missions, more requirements, and bigger payoffs. With great sadness, even though this game has gone through some really big updates, and I'm really happy with the direction it's going, I can't see myself making any more videos about Imperator Rome. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Comments down below. Apart from that, guys, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.